I think a lot, and my brain is like a shotgun of ideas. So every couple seconds, I just get like a bunch of small pellets of ideas all at once, and I gotta look at all of them and think about all of them, and I get them constantly, right? And a lot of those are bad ideas. A lot of those are incorrect notions. A lot of those are correct, but a lot of those are incorrect notions, and like my brain is like a random generator of everything it sees. It just spits back out in my head, and I gotta think about everything that it spits out before I say it, right? So it's confusing sometimes because I'll have an idea, but I don't know if I can say it. I just have a lot going on, right? And to help me choose, or to help me feel better about what is correct and what is incorrect, I will use external factors to help me determine what is true, because I think about a lot of things that may or may not be true. And if I just believed them because I thought they made sense, I would believe a lot of crazy shit. So I'd rather not believe those. Well, I wouldn't believe a lot of crazy shit, but like, I don't have the confidence to believe only myself and go forward with that assumption. So I'll use external factors. I'll be like, I'll have an idea, I'll share it with people. And if other people agree that it makes sense, then it feels like, oh, okay, it's actually a good idea, it has potential, it has momentum. Yeah, so I use other people's opinions on it to validate if it's good. And yeah, you could say that's bad, and like, oh, but other people don't. No. Like, I know I've heard the speech, I know where you're going with this, but no. You sort of have no choice, because like, even though it's not a good option, it's the only one that's there and always accessible, so I will use it. And so I'll share opinions and stuff, but like, the point I'm trying to make is like, I think that's why I need credit so bad, because I can think that I'm smart in my head, and I can know that I'm smart in my head because I see myself do stuff that I consider to be smart. And so from the third person, I can observe myself and be like, oh yeah, I think I'm pretty smart, right? But I think I am a lot of things, and I think about a lot of things, and I think a bunch of different stuff, but I can't tell if any of it's real. So I think I want to be understood so bad because I just want credit. I want someone to tell me that I am good and that I'm not crazy, and like, yes, you are actually good. Because it happened today when I was at school, and a teacher was like, hey, that's actually good logic. And he probably didn't even think about it that much, but like, I solved a problem that could have been resolved in another way, but I solved it in a different way that was longer and more useless, but it demanded more thinking in order to pull it off. So I did it because I thought it was the easiest way, and I didn't think of anything else because I just locked onto the idea and kept going. And he was like, oh wow, that's great, that's you're smart for thinking about that, it's very logical, your logic is great. Like, and I was like, thank you. I guess. I'm not crazy, I knew it. I think that's how a lot of people get dragged into becoming people pleasers or needing external validation, because these are people that think about so many things and aren't sure about any of them and are scared to be wrong. And so they'll just go off of what the group says or what the group thinks. Or like, these are people that really fall into hive mentality and stuff, which is weird because I don't. And so I end up believing no one and nothing. Because one of my problems that I have is I don't believe anyone or anything. Someone can tell me they really like me, and I will not believe them. Someone can tell me they hate me, and yeah, I'll believe that. That's the classic dilemma, right? Well, at least when someone hates you, they're being genuine, so it feels good in a way, like whatever. But yeah, like, I have a hard time believing people. Like, this is gonna sound so white girl of me, but some people think I'm attractive, and some people think I'm ugly, and I do not know which to believe. And you could be, oh well, some people are more attractive to some than others, and like, you can be attractive to one person and ugly to another. No, because then supermodels, why does everyone think they're attractive? So, and then it becomes a study of, well, do I want to dive, because like, there's two possible causes of error here. Either I'm not correct about attraction, or either I'm not correct about who to believe, or like, there's a lot of different ways to go about this, and I just don't know. I know that I know nothing. And I don't like that. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I thought that I knew, but I know that I don't. It's like the Einstein thing where like the circle, there's a light, and the brighter the lights get, the more light. Whatever. How the fuck you explain this? It's like if you were in the dark room and there's a candle and it only does like this much light and stuff. But then like the stronger the light is, and then the light represents knowledge and the darkness represents unknown. The stronger the light is, the bigger the circle gets, but the more the circumference of what we don't know. Let's try explaining this in a different way. Let's say you're in a dark room and you're immobile. You can't move until someone opens the light. You don't know if you're in a closet or in a gymnasium. I think thinking so much is bad because it's like, instead of admitting that I feel scared and that I want to not look dumb and that I want to be perceived as smart and that I want to appear this certain way, instead of admitting all that, I just intellectualize it to be like, well, I'm not trying to appear a certain way. I'm simply pondering about what could be. Like, fucking no. Guys, I'm not trying to do it. I'm just thinking about this for 3 hours. I just enjoy thinking. I just sue me, I guess. It's like, no, it's like that's clearly a front for something else. Whatever. Stupid tangent. But what was my point? So by bouncing off ideas of other people, you can validate if you're crazy or if you're actually correct. Because sometimes you'll think about something that is so... I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I'll think something is true so badly only to share it to other people. And or like, let's say I'm doing a math problem. I'll be so sure that the answer is correct. So sure. And then I go to correct it. And no, I misunderstood, or like I'm wrong in a way that I could have never thought of. So that right there to me, and it's happened numerous times, that right there to me proves that I cannot trust myself to be right. Even if I believe I'm right, that doesn't mean anything because I've believed I was right before and I've been proven wrong. So I can't be sure of anything I think of. Therefore, I'll share what I think, and having a couple people agree with me is like reassurance of like, well, maybe you're onto something. Maybe you're not wrong about this. It's like I work mentally in a state of wrong until proven right. It's like innocent until proven guilty or some shit. Kind of the same logic. Like everything I think of is wrong until I prove it right. That is why I think about everything so much, because I'm trying to prove that it's right through logic and reasoning. But sometimes you just gotta live life and try stuff to see if it works, and that's all that you can do, right? So yeah, writing big ass notes of stuff you understand is cool and it's fun to visit back. But the more because I write notes about thoughts I've had, or when I mean thoughts, it's mostly like human behavior, stuff like that. I sound so pretentious, but like sometimes I'll write big examples of stuff going on in society or in a micro society, or like just scenarios happening, and how everyone in that scenario thinks and how everyone in that scenario acts and how that all interacts with each other. Now for that's so abstract, I need to give an example for that one. As more people become contenders for comparison, the bar for being impressive becomes higher and higher. To illustrate, you know that the best basketball player in the world is probably better than the best basketball player in your hometown. Who is better than the best basketball player in your house? Therefore, the internet has made us all feel mediocre by comparison. Therefore, comparison is thief of joy. See, that's a good example. It describes a complex scenario of multiple people's perceptions of things that are happening and explains an irrational feeling that is somewhat relatable in a logical way. That's the type of shit that I really like, and that's the type of shit that I want to figure out. Like, because there's a lot of stuff like that going on, but that's a bad example because it's really simple, but some of these get really complex, okay, trust me. Some of these get really complicated and say like deep stuff about society, whatever, so they get complicated. And some of these, like, they really like open your eyes about like, oh shit, that changes how I view things about the world and how I should act and how like this changes things. You ever read something and you're like, oh fuck, this changes things? That's what I write. That's what I do. And I think every day constantly. And I'm trying to, not on purpose, I just do because that's my default state. And then when I find these interesting things, I write them down. So that's what my notes are. That's the best way I can sum it up. So I would take these notes, the more interesting ones, and feed them to ChatGPT or like any artificial intelligence and just like see. And I would be like, what can you tell me about this author? And be like, because I'm trying to figure myself out without my own biases. So what better way to figure out who I am without my own biases than to ask literally a third party? So I would ask, and then it would tell me, I would take a different note and then give it to it again, and then be like, based on everything that I've told you so far. And then it would build a memory of how I write things and how I think, and I could use that to figure stuff out about myself. Like, because ChatGPT knows what a normal person is. I don't know what a normal person. I don't know how normal people think. I don't know anything, as I've established before. I can't be sure of anything. I can presume stuff, but when I'm very sure of something, it can be wrong. When I presume stuff, it can very be wrong. The likelihood of it being wrong is very high. So I'd rather not presume and ask artificial intelligence, because it probably has a better success rate than me. So I would ask it and be like, one of my favorite questions I ask it is like, compare this to how a normal person thinks, or like, because I'm not gonna, I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh my god, I'm so special, but I do have legit fucking mental stuff going on, retardation, autism, ADHD, whatever you want to call it. I have something. I don't know what it is, but I think way too much. I have something for sure. I don't want to be the, oh, I'm special. I wish I wasn't, but I am, and so now I gotta figure this shit out. Cool. Okay. So I would ask it questions to like who I am, like, oh, what can you tell me about the person that wrote this? This person has this age and goes to this place for school and has this job. I would just feed it all my personal information. I don't give a fuck. Give it everything. Here's my number. Here's my wife. Here's my 4 kids. This one's called Jerry. The other one is Ben, and the other one is lactose. So I would just feed it information, and in hopes of it like clearing stuff up for me. And sometimes it would, and sometimes it wouldn't. But the main takeaway was, it was incredibly fun. It was so fucking fun. It was so addicting to. It's like, you know those bitches that are like, oh my god, you're Gemini, that means you're this and that. Even though deep down these bitches know that they probably aren't, or like it probably doesn't explain everything about themselves. They want to believe. Why? Because it's interesting. It's fun to have someone tell you with absolute conviction what you are and how you are. But the truth is, there is no truth. There is only your perception of yourself and other people's perceptions of themselves. This is like in Evangelion, when the fucking guy is like, there's a Shinji inside Asuka's heart. There's a Shinji inside Rei's heart. There's a Shinji inside Gendo. Like, you see what I'm saying? So, as someone who loves data, I want to be like, please tell me exactly what I am so that I can get through the fog of everyone's judgment, including my own. But the truth is, there's nothing behind that fog. The whole thing is fog. It all depends on how you see it and what you see and how much you see. Someone that only sees you at work a couple times a week might not have the same perception of you as your fucking best friend. Someone at work might think you're quiet, mysterious, cool, whatever you want to be. And then your best friend is like, no, this guy's a fucking loser. And that's like a funny joke, right? Everyone laughs at that because, oh, in between my friends, I'm so silly and I'm so gross and unfunny, but when I'm with strangers, I try so hard to act cool. Isn't that weird? Shouldn't I try to act cool around my best friend? And there's a certain joke in that, and there's a comedy in that because it's absurd. But the reality is, everything is absurd. And you just gotta look long enough to find it. How do you think comedians make a living? They see the absurd and they put it and they word it. They see the absurd, they understand it, and they word it in a way that is interesting. And when I say comedians, I mean only the funny ones, like Dave Chappelle, maybe Bill Burr. I don't like Bill Burr, but whatever. Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, some stand-up he does is kind of good, but like not all jokes are like that. I'm talking specifically about societal jokes and like human behavior jokes, you know? So yeah. Man, I love when it's fucking, I get rolling and I start saying shit and I don't even think about it and I can explain perfectly. That was a good bit. I forgot everything I just said. Which is why I write notes, so I can remember them longer and I can revisit them. Because I just forgot everything that I just said. So what would happen before I started making videos was I would figure all this shit out. I would try to write it down, or maybe I didn't if we go back to before I started writing notes. And then I would just forget all of it and wake up the next day like nothing happened. And I think it's a shame because some of this is really interesting stuff to think about. Even if you don't think it's interesting, I think it's interesting. So I'm going to record it. And even if I'm the only one that watched the videos, I don't give a fuck anymore. Yesterday, I did give a fuck. But right now, because of what I just said, I realized that is stupid and I shouldn't give a fuck. I haven't internalized it yet, but I know that it's true. Like, before I was scared of like, what if it's not interesting? What if people don't give a fuck about what I'm trying to say? No. Because I care, there will be other people that are like me that will also care. And that's a fact. Because there's so many of us on fucking earth that for sure there's someone who has internet access that will find this interesting in some type of way. For sure. And even if you're not that person, I don't care. And if you are that person, that's really cool. No one's gonna watch this, by the way. I'm saying all this to the void. I'm very well aware. Someone's gonna be watching this video and gonna be looking at the views like 14 uploaded 5 years ago. Interesting. So yeah, I don't care though. I could die and then become famous, or never become famous in my whole life, and that would be the same to me. I would never know. I would never ever know. And so I pretend in my head that I will one day get famous, and everyone's gonna watch these videos, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, he was so smart," right? Because that's what I want. I want everyone to call me smart. But because I said that I want you to call me smart, if you do it, now it doesn't have the same value, because I know that you know that I want it, so it neglects all things. And sometimes they'll get me in retarded situations, because like my girlfriend would be like, "Oh, what do you want me to do? What's your love language, man?" And then I'll be like, that's kind of cringe. I'm not gonna tell you. And then she'll be like, "No, but you have to tell me because I want to make you happy and I care about you." And then I'll be like, "Okay, I like these things." And as soon as she does them, I'm like, "Oh, you're doing them because I told you that I liked it." I don't care anymore. But that's so retarded, because like that's so stupid. I shouldn't think like that, but I do. And I know most girls do think this way. Like if they tell their boyfriend what they want, and then he does it, they're like, "Oh, but you just did it because I told you to." And then the boyfriend is like, "Well, fucking yeah, that's the whole point. I'm trying to make you happy." And they're like, "Yeah, but you have to do it without knowing that I want it, because then it's good." And I have the same fucking thing. I think like a goddamn girlfriend, and I know it's retarded, and I wish it wasn't that way, but I don't know. It just is. See, I could write a note about why that is, if I manage to figure it out. So I'll turn off this video, for example, and I'll go do dishes or whatever, and I'll keep thinking about it in the back of my head, and then like either bam, I figure it out and I'm like, "Oh shit, I gotta write this down," or I don't figure it out and I just keep thinking and I never get around to finishing it and whatever. But it's not, I shouldn't say finish, because it's not really like, I'm not really in control of what I direct my thinking to. I can I can kind of steer it, I guess, but most of the time trying to control it only backlashes into it. Like if I try to go left, it's just gonna go even stronger right. I have zero control over it. So yeah, man, this was a good video. I think I'm pretty happy with this one. Shitty beginning, but once I get rolling, once I get it popping, brand new whip just hopped in. It's good. Face is pretty dry because I got out of the shower. I don't even remember what I said. I talked about self-esteem, I think, being called smart, not being crazy, a little about ChatGPT. But I always have to talk about ChatGPT just to preface my notes, just to preface my explanations, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna cut here because I'm just explaining what I explained. I'm explaining how I'm explaining what I explained. So I'm gonna stop here. So yeah. Anyways. Fuck, the space bar still doesn't work. Anyways.